Hello boys and girls. So this week we're going to be looking at how sounds are made. Okay, and the first job is going to be looking at making an investigation about sound. So you're going to be using everyday objects to find out how you make sound and how you change the sound that you hear. Okay, and you're going to need to use a table to record your results, and this is the table. Okay, so you're going to have the name of what you're using to make the sound. So you could use a ruler and you could put it on the table and you could give the end of a flick. You could use a rubber band like a guitar. You could pluck the little rubber band. You could use paper clips. You could use tinfoil. You could use a crisp packet. You could use a set of headphones. You could use a computer screen. You could use a pen. You could use everyday objects. Okay, and I want you to see how you can use those to make the sounds. And in the next column, you'll write a description of how you make that sound. So with the ruler, you'd write something like, you flick the end of the ruler when it's pushed against the table. And then you'd write a little description of what you can see. You can see the ruler wobbling backwards and forwards or vibrating. Then you can write down what's producing the sound. So you could say the vibrating of the ruler, the wobbling of the ruler. Okay. And then if you can, some of these are going to be really difficult. If you can write how can you make the sound louder or how can you make it quieter. Okay, with the ruler you'd say you pull the ruler back further, okay, and it will wobble, it will vibrate a further distance, okay, and that will make the sound louder. Or you could change it. You could only flick it a tiny amount and it'd be a very quiet sound. Okay, and then the last part, okay, the challenge is how can you make the sound higher or lower pitch. Okay, so at the ruler example you'd write you could change how much of the ruler is exposed from the table. Okay, so I want you to try and fill out at least 4 or 5 examples, but to be honest it would be wonderful to see all 6 examples showing definitely how you make the sound and what you can see. Okay, and then try and give a go at writing what's producing the sound, and try and say how you could make it louder and softer, and try and make it how could you make it higher pitch or lower pitch. Okay, so these first 2 have to be filled out, and I want you to try these last 3. These last 3 are the harder ones. Okay, and it's just a really short description. Okay, and for some of them you could even draw a little sketch picture if you prefer. Okay, but I think it's probably going to be easier to just write a sentence or 2. Okay, but it's up to you. So pause the video here and see how many of these things you can fill out. Spend about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Okay, maybe a bit longer if you want. So pause the video here. Okay, so you want to take a picture of this, and this is the first thing you're going to be uploading to ClassChart, your filled out table. Now, one of the most important things that you need to know about sound is how it travels from the thing that's making the sound to us. Okay, so when the guitar string is plucked, when it's strummed, it will vibrate. Okay, and the guitar string makes the air particles vibrate and move towards the ear. Okay, because it's the ear. Okay, and then the particles will vibrate and they will hit the other particles and they'll cause those particles to vibrate. Okay, they bump into each other and that vibration is passed on to the next particle, the next particle, the next particle, and then that vibration is going into the ear. Okay, and that's the next thing you need to know about. You need to know how we use our ears to detect sound. Okay, so this is a picture of the inside of our ear. Okay, you can see the outside, the outer ear, and inside we've got the middle ear and the inner ear. Okay, so these air particles, they bump into the air particles that are inside the ear, and these particles vibrate. Okay, they vibrate, and that vibration is passed down to the eardrum. Okay, that vibrating air makes the eardrum vibrate, and we hear the sound. So this vibration, okay, these vibrating particles, they pass that vibration on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. They hit the eardrum, and that vibrates. Okay, and then the little bones that are connected to the back of the eardrum, they vibrate. They channel that vibration down to the cochlea, and this detects the different frequencies of the vibrations, and that's passed down the auditory nerve and into our brain, and that's how we hear. Okay, Now, your last job is to fill in this gap sheet. Okay, you have to write out the paragraph and use the word bank to finish it out. Okay, so any sound is caused by something something. The vibrating object causes the something something next to it to vibrate. Those air particles then cause the particles next to them to vibrate. In this way, a disturbance of the air moves out from the source of the something. Sound travels through the air as a sound something, and may eventually reach the something of a listener. When we hear a sound, air vibrates against the something something, causing it to vibrate also. The vibrations are passed on by three small somethings to the cochlea. Here in the cochlea, the vibrations are changed into something messages. These messages travel along the optic nerve to the something. Okay, so pause the video here and try and copy out the paragraph and add the missing words. Now, a copy of this is uploaded alongside class charts if you can't read it through the video. Okay, so if it's easier to use the class charts version, you can do that. Otherwise, just pause the video. We're going to go through the answers on the next slide. Okay, so hopefully you've now finished adding these words. We're going to check and correct. Okay, so first one. Any sound is caused by something vibrating. So vibrating, really important word to do with sound, to do with waves as well, but really, really important. Okay, the vibrating object causes the air particles next to it to vibrate. Those air particles then cause the particles next to them to vibrate. Okay, so if you've got those two, give them a tick. If not, give them a change. In this way, a disturbance of the air moves out from the source of the sound. Give it a tick, give it a change. Sound travels through the air as a sound wave. Give it a tick, give it a change. That's why waves in the last bit. And may eventually reach the ear of the listener. When we hear a sound, air vibrates against the eardrum, causing it to vibrate also. The vibrations are passed on by three small bones to the cochlea. Here in the cochlea, the vibrations are changed into electrical messages, so the messages that pass down the nerves. These messages travel along the nerve to the brain, and we hear it as sound. Okay, so make sure you've either ticked or changed, corrected the missing words. Okay, if you've got all of them right, give yourself a massive pat on the back. If you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you've got 8 out of 9, give yourself a good pat on the back. 7 out of 9, a good pat on the back. 6 out of 9, pat like on the shoulder. 5 out of 9 is pretty still good. You can kind of give you a gentle pat on the shoulder. Okay, so last job. I want you in a triangle like this. I want you to sketch a triangle, and I want you to write 3 things that you now understand a little bit better about how sound and the ear works. Okay, then I want you above it to write 2 new things that you've learnt today. Okay, about sound and about the ear. And then 1 thing you need to find out about more. Okay, and I want you to take a picture of this, take a picture of your word bank sheet, and a picture of your investigation, and that's what you need to upload to class charts. Okay, take care, and you'll hear from me next week. Bye bye.